No one takes the same exact path in life. Some people become teachers, some become doctors, some become chefs, and some become YouTubers. But in all seriousness, there are only two things for certain that will happen to all of us over the course of our lives. One is that we will be born, and two is that we will die. And there are a number of stereotypes out there that state that we should all want to live forever or as long as possible. Death is something we should fear, death is something we dread, we know it will come eventually, we know we can only outrun it for so long. We hear all these pieces of advice to prolong our life, from eating healthy to exercising to doing a number of unhealthy things in moderation, such as drinking, eating junk food, etc., etc., etc. But when you really sit down and think about it, if you were given the option to live forever, would you? I think the natural instinct is to answer this question with yes, and I mean, why wouldn't you? Death causes us so much pain. When a loved one passes away, whether that is expectedly or unexpectedly, it hurts. From saying your final goodbyes to the wake to the funeral, the never-ending tears, the months of having knots in your stomach, for some even living with the regret of not doing enough with that person who unfortunately passed on. And even if there was someone that did not necessarily pass away but steps out of your life, maybe a childhood friend moving away or a former significant other who you grew apart from, sometimes this can hurt just as much. Just the fact that the person is no longer there, no longer a shoulder to cry on, no longer holding their hand out for you to hold, no longer around, can absolutely destroy you. So the answer must be yes, right? If we can solve this problem, solve all this pain, essentially remove it from reality, so no one will have to worry about you passing away, no one will have to worry about closing your coffin, no one will worry about you in your old age. It would make sense to say yes and live forever, right? Wrong. While we can all agree that death is an absolutely terrible thing, you would be surprised at the number of people that do not want to live forever. A study conducted in 2011 made up of Americans said the age that most people wanted to live to was 93. In addition, a study in 2007 comprised of Germans concluded the average age people would like to live to who participated in the study was 85 years old. Now, why is this? Why don't people want to live forever? Well, I can't speak for any of the people that were involved in these studies or anyone else watching this video, including yourself, but there are a number of reasons that I can think of off the top of my head. From continuously having to witness others you're close to passing away, to your children being grown up and living their own lives, it's also possible that growing old alone will end up being extremely lonely. And on top of that, having to live a life where potentially someone has to take care of you, it could be really depressing for a number of parties involved. But I do have a different idea on why you should not want to live forever, and that is death is a deadline. You might think that a longer life equals more time equals more accomplished, but if you live forever, does time even matter? Parkinson's law states that work will expand for as long as we will allow it. So if we have forever to finish a project, start a new hobby, or hang out with a friend, wouldn't we just take forever to do it? Meaning it would never get done. If there was no end date on our lives, why would it matter when Elon Musk sold the first Tesla, or when that package from Amazon came in, or when we got to travel to that place in the world we have desired to see for so long? Why would it matter? Because we would be able to do it eventually, someday, tomorrow. If we weren't outrunning death every single day and we really did have forever, why even get out of bed in the morning? If we always have tomorrow, why bother? This deadline, this end date, should motivate us to live our lives in the fullest and live our lives in the present moment and cherish every moment we can with our loved ones and experiences. Whether that is going to get coffee with your mom, skydiving in New Zealand, snorkeling in Australia, or trying to make that next big idea a reality. We all only have so much time on this earth and so much we can accomplish. And without this hard deadline, it is possible everything we know and love and are passionate about could completely stop. So go on that trip, start that business, call that friend, because our clock is ticking, and you and I both have a deadline to meet.